Entertainment companies the world over had a goal about a decade ago, and that was to kill cable. Well, they've been largely successful, and now they're determined to bring it back. Streaming platforms like Disney Plus now gearing up to bring you non-stop live TV channels that have a lot in common with broadcast TV and cable television. And we're wondering, what was the whole point of this in the first place? We'll show you what's going on with the new streaming idea right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the place that explains entertainment keeps you ahead of the culture curve, and we do it with a joy that the Holly Weirds simply cannot understand. Passion? Yes, we have it for keeping you informed when it comes to all things that should be fun. Today we're talking about TV, television, and folks, you are going to come away with a PhD level of education in what is happening in streaming. And no, there is no tuition required. You're all on scholarship. The only thing we ask in return is that you click the like button. And folks, it's time for a panel of experts. We'll explain it right now.
So real quick, I just have a question. Is this going to split up Disney Plus into different segments where you have to, or it's just you buy Disney Plus and you have?
It's just part of their hub or whatever you call it. It's kind of like how everybody else is doing now.
Well, let me add the full context here for people who might not know what's going on with Disney Plus. Essentially, what they're doing is they're trying to merge Disney Plus and Hulu into one service very slowly. So Disney Plus is going to be the hub, and then you'll also be able to access these live channels at the bottom of it. So it's not going to be a separate service. But if they ever turn anything on for free, it's probably going to be these live channels.
But JT's question is perfect because that's the thing that normal subscribers ask, because Disney Plus has turned into this mutated thing as they do anything they can to draw in subscribers. It's now such an amalgamation of different offerings that people don't even know what the thing is anymore. It's like, well, it's Hulu. Yes. Well, it's live TV. Maybe. Well, it's channels. Okay. And it's Disney.
Whatever it is, just give us your money, please.
Well, and that's going to be kind of what the whole the ultimate, ending of this is. Project Hulk is to get Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN all,
and kill
mashed
Hulu
together. Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, they're spending all this money to maintain Hulu. Hulu is a built brand with profit, and you're trying to run away from that, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And exactly to that end, though, the way Disney Plus is divided already, it's broken up into Lucasfilm, Marvel, some other bologna sausage. They might as well have a Bluey, segment just to itself. But by trying to fool people that this is a new offering is hysterically funny, because everything they're going to offer on the streaming channels, I'm using quotes here, streaming channels, is going to be stuff that theoretically you could just go watch in the individual channel yourself and not watch the preordained, package that they're running in loop. They're not a cable channel. They're trying to pretend like they are.
What I'm hearing from this is not what they're doing right now, but I think someone else already said it. Almost like they're laying the groundwork for what they plan on doing in the future, splitting it off and then maybe charging separately and creating a cable package out of it and then making more money from that, as opposed to having it all in one on Disney Plus for one price.
Yeah, and I think your instinct is correct. I think you're 100% right. But from the business aspect, they're actually have some real problems if they try to do that, because people opted out of cable for a reason. The only thing that would be appealing is because of the a la carte type of availability that it might offer. If that's the case, if that's what that the audience is looking for, which I wouldn't suggest that they are. Everybody's tired of cable. Everybody's tired of paying more than what something's worth.
Well, it's the natural evolution. They're going to make it worse over time to make you spend more to get what it used to be. But at first, Disney Plus was such an amazing buying proposition to get everything all in one, to break you away from cable, to be like, I'm going to pay, what was it when it started? $6 a month, like to have it.
Right. And they even ran a deal to where you could get like 3 years of it. If you, and if you pre-ordered, you would pay like $3 a month. Yeah. This was 2019 Disney though, not 2020, whatever in the world this is now.
2024. Yeah, no, you could actually get a 3-year subscription for $3.99 a month. Back in 2019, they started selling that specific deal the day that they launched the Expo. So that is tied in with the Expo back in 2019. And, you know, and then, you know, they didn't lock people in at that rate, of course. They just locked them in for that pre-purchased, because you had to pay for it all in advance rate. Now you discover you're paying 20 something a month for whatever it is their top offering is. And you're going, not sure this is worth it anymore. Because if you look around, think about what they're going to charge just for quote unquote flagship alone, which, if you're unfamiliar, is their ESPN product, which, you know, is supposed to be everything that they would have to offer.
Well, real quick,
yeah.
Here's the problem, and I'm just looking at this from my own personal bias perspective because it's all I know. I literally live on YouTube now, and yes, probably because and
YouTube dominates the streaming space because of that, JT. That's what we've talked about in the past.
Me too. I literally have it injecting into my veins so I can survive.
and I can't recommend YouTube Premium enough to people that don't have it, because I can't stand the ads. And it's like, what is it? I don't even know what they raise the they could raise the price whatever they want, and I'd probably still pay it, because it's so amazing to have all the free content, no ads, and it's better than TV.
JT, I'm required to say this per our team here at the Pro Channel. Although we love YouTube Premium and hate ads, we have to say that when we watch the Pro Channel, we always click on every single ad we can as a sign of unceasing dedication to the channel.
Oh, and
actually,
when I go to that
you're allowed to say that, Pro.
I click on all the ads as well, and smashjt.com. Always click the ads, please.
That was parody, folks. Parody, we promise.
Oh my!
Well, you know what they say, Pro. Parody begins at home. But you know, really, when you talk about these seasonal channels, you know who started doing that before everybody else was Sirius XM. They would suddenly do, you know, obviously Christmas and things like that, but also an all Beatles channel or an all whatever that wasn't planned to last forever, that they would plug various people into and get the real artists to come in and do some commentary or whatever. And now Amazon has this whole separate section that says on now. And for example, if I go there right now, on now, I can watch classic Doctor Who, Bosch, the Formula One TV, Johnny Carson TV, Sky News, Midsummer Murders, Reuters, CNN headlines, The Repair Shop, whatever that is. Anyway,
a lot of stuff that you could watch just by hitting play and not have to deal with ads. But see, I have a theory to this. This is our human instinct saying we miss this thing called television, where somebody used to choose and curate what it is we watch, and we don't have to think about it. We get a few choices, but not a bunch of choices, because I think this is what happens anymore.
In other words, we don't have to study TV Guide the way we have to study our phones to go to Disney World.
Well, either way, yeah,
like a limited selection right there. Click one. You don't like it? Click another. Big deal.
Well, I think that the bigger problem is, like, people, you know, they go on these streaming services and you're bombarded with so many choices that I'm sure if you start giving me like a 1 in the chat or a 2, meaning you don't, a 1 in the chat meaning you do, probably spend more time surfing for something to actually watch than actually watching something.
Oh, and just multiply that by a factor of 5 if you've got someone else with you.
Exactly. And then so I think a lot of times now people just prefer to do this because it's just so much easier. It's just like regular television. Like the other day, I threw on, because like on Amazon, as you guys were pointing out, I got Paramount through there and a few other channels. So I just had on Ninja Turtles for a while, and then when that got boring, I switched over to Perfect Strangers and stuff like that. It's you know, just an entire channel of those. I would actually be fine if they just ran a whole different bunch of shows. That's kind of what bothers me, is that it's the same show nonstop for 24/7. When, you know, I do like to have the regular CBS and stuff through there too. So I think that people are kind of gravitating back towards that model, and they don't mind the ads. And some of it is almost like a comfort thing for some people. Like, to me, I almost feel like I've been disconnected for so long because I haven't had cable in over 10 plus years now. And even before that, I was sporadic. So like, you know, sometimes I do get to miss in like what are the new ads and stuff that people are talking about.
That's an interesting psychological question then too. Do the ads provide you with a momentary shutdown of your you know, deep thought processes while you're watching something and give you
that?
The rest
it's just like a comfort in the background, and you know, it's just there, right? You know, growing up, it was always a thing, you know, especially as a younger kid or during the summertime, you know, be running through grandma's house and she'd have, Price is Right playing and stuff like that. There's a couple of things
that have changed about the ads. When they first started putting ads on these things, they just put them in according to a clock. Middle of a scene, middle of a speech, middle of a sentence. That would drive you nuts. They pretty much fixed that. But if you go to things like, one of the free ones, let's say.
Well, real quick, before you even go further.
Yeah.
It was only back then when they used to do that. It was only like 1 or 2 ad spots where it was like 25 seconds or 40 seconds. And it was right back to it. Now when it's an ad break.
Or the same ad over and over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is on some of these that show features. First of all, it always surprised me that over half the ad time was sold to themselves to promote something else they were putting on for free.
That's so frustrating too.
But when it's 3 sponsors and they have 1 decent ad between them, by halfway through the movie, you see the little bar moving of how long you've got to run to the bathroom, and you go because you're not even interested in the ad anymore because you've seen it 6 times, which is not what old television used to be by a long shot. So.
Well, it's
there used to be a common phenomenon in old television.
It's the same thing.
What I was going to say is a commercial that was really good, and then you ask somebody, "Oh, did you see that commercial with the guy with the boat with the?" Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. What was that?
Every morning, Lou calls me to tell me about the Geico commercials.
Well, and I don't know if it's so much the ads. The ads are just part of the, the experience. The other part of it, I think, is more important is that a lot of these shows that are running on these nonstop channels are shows from the past that were generally shows that were episodic, right? Like they weren't something that was like content to where you have to sit down and watch the entire show run to understand the entire story arc. Like Perfect Strangers is a great example of that, right? Because we all know Perfect Strangers is just basically The Odd Couple, right? Every show kind of is the same thing, and it kind of just resets itself just kind of resets itself, every time. A great example is, like,
how dare you, sir? Balky got married. Don't take that from the man.
What are those?
These are my Spider-Man pajamas.
Let me rephrase that. Why are you wearing those?
Because my He-Man pajamas are in the laundry.
Yeah, they had like the Vegas episode, where they went to Vegas and stuff. So I mean, everything just kind of resets itself at the end for the most part. So it's like you don't have to worry about it. It's the same reason why people love procedural television, right? Because you can just flip on one of those NCISs or Criminal Intent or Law and Order or whatever, and people
I've gone from finding all these British ones that I really like because the people are good. And about halfway through the 8 seasons that they've got on, I start thinking, why isn't the population of England decimated by this show? Because it's like every week, 2 or 3 people getting killed. That's got to add up. But we like them anyway,
Well, let me bring this back to the hook for just a moment. Matt, Culture, you guys can weigh on this, please. It's always sad when one of these video ends, and yet it is the beginning of the wait for the next one to land. 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And by the way, there's plenty more on our partner channels. That Part Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and go check out the original music we have on stations like Vacation Radio. We'd love to have you, love to entertain you. At least we'll do a better job than some of the current entertainment companies. Folks, like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Drop a comment right on down below. Share this out anywhere you go on social media. And until the next time, we have the honor, the pleasure of getting to spend time with you when you choose to invite us into your day to add the value that we hope to bring your way. We ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.